ancestors' war story. However, if you can adapt it to your own experience, feel free to do so. By capturing your ancestors' war experiences, you will breathe life into the history texts and put a face to those who went through it, from Coast Guards to Air Force recruits to military forces. You are walking through a minefield here as you endeavor to write these stories, but if handled carefully, you will do your soldier a great honor with your deep sensitivity and your compassion. Mine number 1 is know your facts. It is very important when writing about any form of conflict that you avoid mistakes when it comes to dates, battles, locations, and ranks. Research, cross-check, and then cross-check again. Your ancestor was part of something larger than his own story. He or she belonged to a band of brothers who ate, played, fought, and often perished together. You are responsible to do any person who's been through conflict the greatest possible justice. Mine number 2, keep your views to yourself. Warfare is complex, controversial, and multifaceted. Don't insert your own political views or ethics into the story unless you're the one who went to war. You can add your personal views later if you like. Mine number 3, handle characters with care. Write about others as you would like them to write about you. Also, refrain from grouping nations into a stereotype unless it was seen that way at the time. Again, don't allow your own stereotyping to enter someone else's war story. Mine number 4, be careful using labels like hero and coward. Unless, again, you know for sure that these were the labels used by the person who was in the conflict. If you make it through the minefield, you will have in your hands a well-written story about war, one that will show your readers that you really care. Begin by describing what led up to the war or conflict and how well informed the person who enlisted may have been. What caused the war? Was the soldier conscripted, or did he or she volunteer? Here's an example. Boys gravitated to the reserve army for a free set of clothes. And after a few days, we wondered if the 5-mile walk to town, the standing to attention, and the marching and saluting were worth it. Take your readers to the training as you describe the location, the ranks, the physical challenges, and then on to the battleground as you research what this area may have looked, smelled, sounded, and felt like. Tell your readers about the soldiers' recreational times. For example, sport, entertainment, melancholy songs about sweethearts, the bantering with comrades, and so on. When it comes to describing hostile events, use bold, vivid words. For example, grim, cataclysmic, grotesque, mayhem. Raise up the heroes and their acts with triumphant words. For example, relentless, glorious, prevail, bugles. When writing about hostility, tap into all the senses. The sights, barbed wire, flashing lights, pooling blood, volcanic mud. The sounds, thunderous roars, rattles, cracks, tortured screams. The smells, burnt earth, gun oil, and napalm. And draw your reader into the action. As James Barrera wrote, "The opening fusillade of incoming bullets is fierce. Hot lead splits the air above our heads." War brings on a quandary of emotions. Imagine and detail these. Fear and safety, terror and composure, ugliness and beauty, shame and honor, depression and thrills, mercilessness and pity. Explore what your combatant may have felt, being careful not to assume too much. Wrap up your war stories. What was the welcome home like? Were there any emotional or physical scars left from the conflict? Was the soldier's name recorded in any material from the war? In your biography, once you've written someone else's combat story from their perspective, you can explore your own feelings on the subject. For example, how has military action changed over the years? Are you a big supporter of war today? Look for an ancestor who served during a conflict. Research as much as you can about their stint. Step into their boots. Open all your senses and write. Watch out for minefields and start with their training. And as you use bold words and sensory descriptions, document the conflict itself, followed by the welcome home. An episode in combat is a sacred and extraordinary experience, only definable by the person going through it. So handle these types of stories with an unassuming and gentle heart.